All right, everybody. So, to catch you up on what's happened since last night. Again, we went through, set up the teams off stream. I will introduce you once more to your Honolulu Breeze, featuring Tommy Campbell, the point guard. Of course, Sean Humphreys will be down in developmental. Wenli Liu, the backup point guard. You have Charlie Haynes and Lulu at shooting guard. Lulu is a really defensive specialist. At forward, of course, Todor will end up being the sixth man. It's going to be Lothar Kramer as the starter. Travis Bradley also there as a shooting guard, small forward depth option. Really good offensive player. With Brooke Wesley down in developmental one more time. Power forward, Vlad Lekic is ready for his rookie season after being a stash player. You guys also have Banks and Griffin. And then at center, Horace Keefe with Phil Lyles behind him. This should be the first year that you make the playoffs. It should be. And again, the player mentorships and everything have been set up. They're good to go. When we look at the Omaha Airmen, the reigning, defending, undisputed NBA champions. We, of course, have Eddie O'Brien and Jared Page. Page is actually going to be the starter. Eddie O'Brien kind of fell off a cliff a little bit in terms of how good he is, unfortunately. So Eddie O, I don't think is my starting point guard anymore. It's Page. I did put Lambros Balidis down in developmental for the season because he's 19. Shooting guard for me is still Francis Baxter. Mladen Olic is there, and then Chester Bledsoe's a random dude, but Olic is the other backup guard. At forward, we got a lot of people here. But Dylan Bledsoe's the starter, and then Kenny Snow, Kevin Thomas, Brandon Mullins are all just kind of there, while Mitch Steele, my other draft pick, also in developmental for the season. Power forward, Havel Sita, with Neil Red still on the team. And at center, the one and the only Herb Dixon and Darren Good. So, needless to say, we both have playoff aspirations. Your depth is a little bit better than mine at this point. But obviously, I have the best player of the bunch. In terms of where we are in the power rankings, I am listed second on NBA.com, just behind the New York Knicks, whereas you guys are listed 31st. 2K has both of us probably towards the bottom. 2K has me 31st, you 32nd. Eric Bonish has me second and has you guys 31st. So people are doubting the Breeze, who we will follow. We do play each other on November 21st. So we will sim up to that point and see what happens. Let's follow along with Honolulu again. You guys do have playoff aspirations here. We got to see if something can happen. Fortunately, not a flying start this season for you. So as it stands here, we're about a month into the season. The Breeze sit at 5-8. The Airmen, 5-9. So both teams struggling a little bit here in the early stages. As much as I want to watch the head-to-heads, I do just kind of want to see what happens. So we're going to sim through the regular season. You guys beat me 119 to 111. But I want to see what happens, because right now it's, for me, again, I've already won the head-to-head. So for me right now, it's more about just waiting to see how many titles my team can win, if the number is any higher than 1. And it'll be about following you guys in the playoffs if you were to make it. So, I mean, my team, I don't really think I'm going to follow unless it's an elimination game in the playoffs or the finals. For you guys, though, it's trying to follow you as much as we can to see if you can make something happen. Problem is, right now, you're 14th in the conference. And as we get to the All-Star break, to be honest, you might not be able to prioritize. You might just have to optimize as much as we possibly can. We have another game coming up against one another here. You guys beat me again. You pulled off the double. You've won 4 in a row. End up losing that game. More wins than losses as of late, though. Get to the deadline, of course. We can't do anything. All-Star captains, we'll go to no. But let's take a look here at who made the All-Star game. In 2029, it's Team LaMelo against Team Giannis. Herb Dixon, now a 3-time NBA All-Star. And that is the only guy I see on either side. But Herb Dixon's back in the All-Star game. Very, very good. Let's take a look at the award races. As LaMelo right now is the favorite to win MVP. Cunningham's up there as well. Rookie of the Year, Herb Burt is up there. Vlad Lekic currently in 4th. Potentially win that award. Sixth Man of the Year, Killian Hayes. Defensive Player of the Year is Giannis at the moment. Most Improved, Mel Cartwright. So, not too much representation for either side here. If we look at the standings in the West, you guys sit at 24 and 29. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. As it stands, you would just be on the outside looking in. You very much have a playoff shot. Omaha, 27 and 27, we would be in the playoffs right now. So not bad. Not bad at all. All right, cool. Let's keep going. Both teams currently in the running to make the playoffs. We'll continue to follow Honolulu here. You guys cannot afford to drop too many games. Definitely got to win more than you lose. You're doing a pretty damn good job of that. Very streaky, this Honolulu team. You guys have a real shot at making the playoffs here. That's an incredible winning pace. We're going to sim to April 1st and see where we both stand. You guys are listed as 9th in the conference, now 8th. Close competition, 3 losses in a row, and 4 of your last 5 was horrible, though. So the Western Conference playoff picture, Honolulu is currently out by 1 game with 7 games left. So it is down to the wire for you guys to make the playoffs for the very first time. In the East, Omaha sits 6th at 40 and 36. Not bad. So we're looking okay. We'll stick with you guys for the next 2 games. You beat Golden State, but you lost to the Clippers. Playoff picture here again in the West. You guys are just out. If I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah, it's 7, 8, 9, 10. That make it. You guys are just out by 1 game. And Omaha has officially clinched a playoff spot for the 4th year in a row. The next 2 game for the Breeze. 500 ball isn't going to help you right now. Half a game behind the Pelicans. You need the Pelicans to lose. You did just beat them. You got the Nets next, all home games. You guys are a game back of the Pelicans. You need to win, and you do. Again, Omaha is in. You guys are still 1 game back of New Orleans. You have to win out. And you lose to Memphis. Oh my God, you guys are still going to miss. You're 1 game back of the Pelicans. If you win and Dallas and the Pelicans lose, you have a chance. You have to beat Giannis and the New York Knicks. Can you do it? Can you do it? Let's find out. This is a must-win for you guys to make the playoffs for the very first time, and it's looking like you might just do it. Pulling away. You guys are going to have that opportunity. You absolutely thrashed the Knicks, 134 to 110. No controversy. Great games for Campbell, Bradley, and Lothar. But is it enough? Let's find out. As LaMelo Ball, his first season in San Antonio, wins league MVP. It was really between him or Cade Cunningham. Herbert wins Rookie of the Year. It makes sense. Casey O'Neal would have had a shout. Unfortunately for you guys, I mean, Lyles was down in 14th. Usman Garuba, 6th Man of the Year. Giannis again won Defensive Player of the Year. How many times is that now? 9-time Defensive Player of the Year, has won it every year since 2022. MVP was Lenny Spencer. Coach of the Year, Steven Silas again, and Joseph Jackson. First team All-NBA, no representation. Herb did make second team All-NBA. All-defensive team, no representation. And the all-rookie team, Vlad Lekic did make it, but he's hurt. 4 to 6 weeks with a lower right leg stress fracture for Vlad Lekic. And if you guys didn't make the playoffs, that would presumably be a big reason as to why. Honolulu misses the playoffs. Oh my God, you guys can't catch a break. Omaha is in the play-in round against the Magic. You guys missed the playoffs again. On tiebreaker. You lost to Dallas on tiebreaker. Both of you finished with identical 500 records, 41 and 41. You missed out on tiebreaker. Dallas lost 4 in a row, but held on. And again, for Omaha, I'm the top team in the play-in round, excuse me. I don't know what the hell you guys have to do to make the playoffs. This is abysmal. So, I mean, Tommy Campbell with led the way, 18 points a game. Lothar at just about 18. Keefe averaged just 10 points a game. In terms of your rebound leader, it was Keefe at 6.5. Todor out-rebounded your power forward. Assist leader, Haynes and Campbell had 5 a game. You had 5 players averaging a steal a game. Only 1 player over a block per game. That's rough, man. And then for me, Herb and Bledsoe both averaged over 20 points. Herb averaged 21 points and about 12 rebounds a game, which is nuts. Bledsoe, 24 points a game. Baxter was up there. Sita and Gooden both averaged 6 rebounds a game. Eddie O, 7 assists a game. I mean, yeah, it's just Herb Dixon was the big equalizer, or the big difference maker. So for you guys here then, I mean, Campbell ends the season at an 85, Lou at a 75. Humphreys right now showing up as a 71 because of morale. I don't know what you guys have to do to make the playoffs, man. Again, Wesley's just pissed because he was in developmental. Lekic getting hurt really didn't help you guys. Yeah. And then for me, Herb showing up as a 92, for God's sakes. He is a 91, but he's currently showing up as a 92, so... again, I do have an injury as well, Sita. Or Sita just dropped an overall. He's heated, I don't know why. So, for my team here then, really quickly... and yes, I utilized a lot of bench depth this season. Pretty much going to drop that down to 8 players and run our top players as much as possible. And see what happens. Like I said, I'm down to sim the majority of my games. And we'll just see what happens from there. I feel like there are certain changes I could make. Like obviously getting like O'Brien, and honestly, I might actually try this. Let's get Eddie O in there. Honestly, Olich can be swapped as well. Bledsoe can go there. Gooden can play. Let's get Mullins some time. He's a forward, he's a big man. Get Baxter some time. Kind of a weird spot to be in. See what I can do here. See what I can do here. Going with a very, very risky setup here, but to get some of my younger stars into the lineup a little bit more. And again, just run Herb for 45 minutes a night. Alright, so like I said, I'm going to sim here. We'll see if I make it through the play-in round. Pretty much no matter what, sim the game. We take on Orlando in this play-in round game. Again, we had a conference finals matchup with them last year. And it looks like we're going to hold on. And we do. 102 to 85. 29 points for Herb with 12 rebounds. Not bad. So that confirms us as the 7th seed and locks us into a series once again with the Detroit Pistons. Fuck. We'll simulate the play-in. Orlando ends up beating Brooklyn. So it's Boston, Orlando, Milwaukee, New York, Washington, Charlotte. I get to play the Pistons again. And the western side is Houston, Utah, the Clippers and Blazers, Grizz and Nuggets, Spurs and Timberwolves. So, fair enough. Let's see what happens. Let's take a look at a couple of things. So we're definitely going to take out Olich. Let's go ahead and auto-sort that again. So Baxter, all that's good. Actually, I want to make sure that Eddie-O gets in there. Eddie-O's a playoff performer, baby. And the only other thing that we're going to do is take out Sita for Mullins. Drop Snow's minutes down. Try to get Sita some minutes here. Definitely drop Mullins minutes, but he's on a hot streak, and we'll try to ride the hot hand. Detroit, what do they look like? My biggest rivals, the Detroit Pistons. Cade Cunningham is still there. He's healthy this time. They do have Sadiq Bey, but he's hurt. Oleg Kozlov, Mikal Bridges, Shannon Chapman. Yeah, this is going to be tough. Yeah, no ducking Cade Cunningham this year. Game number 1 of our first round matchup. Like I said, I probably won't jump in unless it's an elimination game for the sake of time, because I've already reached the mountaintop. No need to go slow this time, as that was a very close game, and we choked at the end. 124 to 116. Cunningham put up 40 points. It looked like we were going to be able to hold on, but they outscored us in both quarters of the second half. Herb 27 points, 17 rebounds, and it wasn't enough. And Mullins, with that extra time, really did struggle. So, as you'd kind of expect, Cunningham just kind of took over. Mullins is apparently still the hot hand. We'll swap Page out with Eddie-O. Let him run the show as our top point guard. Game number 2. Oh boy, man, the Pistons with Cunningham are just a different animal. They have led this entire game. 142 to 117. Herb Dixon, 34 points and 11 rebounds. Cade Cunningham, 37 points and 20 assists. Triple-double as well with the 11 rebounds. All right. Yeah, it's the Pistons are a different story when I have to deal with Cade Cunningham. Thank fuck, I already won. They are a different animal with Cade Cunningham on that team. Oh my god. Also, we are playing trash tier defense. We go to game number 3, first game at home. They got us, man. They got us. Yeah. 122 to 99. 43 points for Cunningham. Herb did have a double-double. 43 points, though, for Cade. 3-0 lead for the Pistons. There wasn't even a series to follow. Even if we were paying attention, this team is cooked. This team is cooked. We'll just go with the best lineup possible. But yeah, this team is cooked. Game number 4. Again, thank God I have a title to my name already. Can we put up a fight and keep this series going, or will the Pistons pull off the sweep? It is very close. And the Pistons are going to win this. That's it. 98 to 85. Detroit sweeps away the defending champions. Herb with another 30-point double-double. No secondary scoring. Bledsoe was 1 of 13 from the floor with 7 points in 41 minutes. I mean, look at that. Cunningham put up 19 points and they still won because nobody but Herb showed up. Nobody but Herb showed up in that series. So we're going to call that a championship hangover, because there were quite a few players there that just completely no-showed that series. I mean, Bledsoe only averaged 18 points. See if I can find his stats. Nah, I can't find the playoff stats. I mean, Bledsoe disappeared. Eddie O didn't do much. Gooden was a pretty big disappointment as well. Sita didn't do much. The best thing I can do is look at, see if I go to, again, it would just be playoffs. So, I mean, again, Herb, like, the efficiency rating was down. Herb was still Herb, for sure. Dylan Bledsoe, regular season, playoffs. Completely choked. He no-showed this series. Completely choked. Francis Baxter wasn't that bad. He still did pretty well. His shooting percentage was down. Jared Page, he declined heavily into the playoffs. Mullins fell off a cliff into the playoffs. Eddie O'Brien actually wasn't that bad. Drew Gooden fell off a cliff. And actually, I believe this is being compared to last year's playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. But still, you get the point. God, just... Actually, no, it should be regular season. Yeah, I mean, just Gooden fell off. Sita fell off. So a bunch of my players didn't show up. And against someone like Cade Cunningham, you can't do that. So the Rockets beat the Jazz. The Blazers beat the Clippers. The Nuggets upset the Grizz. And the Timberwolves upset San Antonio. So it's Houston and Portland, Denver and Minnesota. The Magic sweep the #1 seed Celtics. The Knicks beat the Bucks. The Hornets swept the Wizards. And of course we got swept by Detroit. So it is New York and Orlando, Detroit, and Charlotte. As Portland pulls off a 7-game upset of the Rockets. Denver beats Minnesota in 7. The Magic beat the Knicks in 7. And the Pistons beat the Hornets in 4. Or, excuse me, in 5. So, the Magic went from losing to me in the play-in round to being in the conference final. It is Portland and Denver, Detroit and Orlando. And it will be a final of Detroit and Portland. Portland wins in 6 and Detroit wins in 5. So we already know what Cade Cunningham and the Pistons look like. What do the Blazers look like? DeAndre Ayton, Brad Hilliard, Bobby Dixon. Kuminga is hurt, but it's only day-to-day. They got a chance. Blazers have a chance, but the Pistons are the favorite here. And indeed, the Detroit Pistons finally get to the top of the mountain. Cade Cunningham, MVP, and that's all it took was for Cade Cunningham to stay healthy. That's all it took. That's what they needed. because year in and year out, he was an MVP candidate, and he just couldn't stay healthy. They did win in 25-26 and then hurt. I mean, actually, did they win in 25-26? No, they didn't. That is their first title in this run. That's right. So again, he was MVP, they lost. He would have been MVP, but he got hurt. So Herb won it. And then Cunningham won it last year, and they lost again because he got hurt. Endo Mills, hello. How's the editing going? So finally, the Pistons get to the mountaintop with Cade Cunningham. It took him long enough. But that's all it took was for him to stay healthy. Craziness. So that is without a doubt the fastest we've simmed a season. Again, you guys failed to make the playoffs again. And it wasn't worth following my team slowly because, I mean, what are you going to do, right? Like, it's just, we've already won. If we make it back, then cool. But yeah, Cade absolutely dominated. Tobias Harris. Kawhi has retired. Jimmy Butler. Damian Lillard. Rudy Microphones Gobert. Andre Drummond. I see some of my work on TV. Ooh. Show off. Or your pro person. Vildoza. What a name. A lot of players retired here. And a lot of players retired here. I'm going to guess most are free agents. Yeah. Staff retirements. Rick Carlisle's gone. Ron Adams. Frank Vogel's gone. Steve Kerr retired. It's a sad day. We'll miss you, Steve. Hall of Fame inductees. Damian Lillard, Kawhi Leonard, and Jimmy Butler. All make the Hall of Fame. Over 1,000 games played. Jersey retirements. Lillard's number retired by the Blazers, Butler's by the Heat, and Gobert's by the Jazz. All right. League meetings. We have no new rules this time. Very, very close. One vote away. Top 6 picks are done by a random weighted draw. That was the lottery nearly changed. The lottery nearly changed. All games will have 4 timed quarters in regulation. That was also very close, but rejected. So to the lottery we go, chat. You will have a pretty low chance, 1%, with the 14th pick. But again, the Bulls won from that very position last year. So anything could happen. Let's see what happens for you guys here. The Pelicans stay at 16. They took Akiel 2nd overall last year. Number 15, the Dabless Mavericks stay at pick number 15. 17th lottery pick all time. So here we go for you guys. Moment of truth. What's been a horrible season for you? Will you stay at pick 14? Yes, you will. So indeed, no movement. 7th lottery selection, the most in the NBA since 2022. So with that, the Lakers end up with the number 1 pick. Pacers and Sixers as the top 3. The Airmen will select at 19. And you guys will be selecting at 14. It's your latest pick ever. Just not in the way that you would have preferred, having missed out again on the playoffs via tiebreaker. So we get to the draft. It's like early stages of the draft to glory. We sim a whole season in like an hour. Let's see what happens. We will go ahead and just sim to your selection. Pick number 14 for Honolulu. So, again, everybody, pay attention. Zion ended up in... he left the Pelicans. Where did Zion go? Can't think of the team. Can't think of the team. All right, here we go. So, the players available to you guys. You have Timmy McLeod, the Wizards. Thank you, Top Hat. Timmy McLeod, 77 rated apparently. Showing up as starter. Again, make sure you keep track of the names that you might like. You look at McLeod, decent defense and rebounding. Again, I will sort by potential soon. At point guard, Johnny Sloan, also 23-year-old starter, good shot, good perimeter D, decent playmaking. There's 19-year-old Harvey Brewer, who can only play defense and get rebounds. Starter. I swear to God, I thought that was comparing him to Herb Dixon. Cody Bledsoe at point guard. Really good shooter. Also starter. Jermaine Westbrook at point guard. Really good shooter. Good playmaker. Hall of Fame and starter. If you trust the scouting report, he's being compared to Steve Nash. All right. Are we just taking him now, chat, or do you want me to keep looking? Any disagreements? Do we just take him now? Do we save time? Does anybody disagree from chat, or are we taking him now? I'm waiting. Any disagreements? Going once. Going twice. Sock says look at his potential. It shows up as a C+, but you only have him 71% scouted. Is Sock's going to be the one that holds this up? And that's true. If you take him now, I don't get the information from your draft sheet for my pick later. Any disagreements? Going once. Going twice. Sold. Jermaine Westbrook to the Honolulu Breeze. Point guard out of Indiana. Will he be the game changer you needed? That is the question. So I have nobody that I can really be like, I'm waiting for this guy, so I'll sim to my pick. At pick number 19. Okay. So Timmy McLeod again, starter. I knew that. Cody Bledsoe was starter. I don't know a damn thing about Harvey Brewer. But I'm pretty sure your scout said he was decent. Rubens Costa, all-star bench. Tyson Manning, a lot of starter. All-star starter for Ike Christopher being compared to Ron Artest. Starter bench, all-star bench, nothing. Starter bench, all-star bench. Fuck me, man. Alright. All-NBA or bench. Quinn Lambert, the Scottie Pippen comp. Dick Russell. Yeah. Demetrius Patsoglu. Who the fuck knows? Well, in terms of high ceiling, I got fucking nothing. In terms of potential, Diego Barea, Wallace Conley. Diego Barea is 20 and has 8 badges. Jesus. All-star bench. Interesting. He's a one-year stash player. That honestly wouldn't be that bad. Because that would save spots to drop somebody else down. Keith Weaver at point guard, starter bench. I think I'm going to be taking Diego Barea. He is the highest guy left on the board. There's also Dion Arthur. Yeah, I think this is a pretty easy pick. I mean, he's a stash player. I don't think I've utilized a single stash player so far. There's really no reason to waste a ton of time. I have very few options. I'm taking the 20-year-old Diego Barea. The Spaniard. So, we'll see what happens from there. Let's move on to Honolulu at pick number 48. I have pick number 49. So you guys still have access to Quinn Lambert, 21 years old, relatively well-rounded, decent mid-range shot, good physicality. He was the boomer bust Scottie Pippen comparison, and he was the best comparison left on the board. In terms of overall, then you got like Freeman. In terms of guys that you're actually going to have info on, Lambert, All-NBA, starter bench, All-Star bench. Tyson Malone. At All-NBA to bench as well. His stats look like trash, though, when he's 23. Daryl Jennings, All-Star bench. Anybody else like an all-NBA? Another all-star and Joseph. I mean, yeah, you guys aren't wrong to go with Lambert. I mean, in terms of who you have info on, he's the guy. I mean, Weaver's 19 with a B+, but he is a total project. We're making that official, or are we going with Lambert? Any disagreements? Do we even need to throw it to a poll? He looks like the best player left. Bottom line, if you don't take him, I'm taking him. He looks like the last decent shot in the dark. He does look like the last decent shot in the dark for either side here. All right, Quinn Lambert. Come on down. Out of Wyoming. And apparently, they call him a steal. We'll see. We shall see. So I am on the clock here. It's weird that it basically said that was another first-round pick. You guys haven't made a trade. Fuck. JT Sims. Who do I have info on? Starter bench for Herman Augustine. Decent inside defense, decent rebounding, nothing great. Junior Kerr is all-star bench. He is a massive project. Tony Steele is all-star bench, also a massive project. RJ Reed. Daryl Jennings. 20 years old, decent inside scores, got nothing else. There's Tyson Malone. And 23, but tragic. I mean, I don't have much available to me here. Aside from the fact that this kid's 19 and has 5 badges, apparently. That's about the best I can hope for. Yeah, I literally know nothing about this guy, but I'm going to have to take another point guard in this draft because, I mean, he looks like the best player available. I'll be taking Kenny Weaver because why not? Fastest player in the draft with him without the ball. Not bad. So, that'll do it for our particular draft. Looks like the Lakers may have screwed up the #1 pick. And we'll see here in terms of rating. 75 overall, Jermaine Westbrook at 22. That's a bit lower of a rating than I would have thought. Kind of tragic when Brendan Crawford's 19 and 2 points better. So that hurts a little bit. Where I got a 74 overall at 20. Well, chat, I beat you in the first round. Depending on potential. Age and overall wise, I'd much rather have Barea than Westbrook. The potential's the big question here. But looks like we both might have lost, though, because Timmy McLeod should have been the pick. He was starter. We both aimed higher than starter, but yeah, McLeod was a 78 at 22. That's what we get for aiming higher than starter. Harvey Brewer, 76 at 19. Jesus. Cody Bledsoe was also decent. We both might have screwed up that pick. We'll see. Second round. You guys ended up with Lambert, who was a 73 at 21 years old. I ended up with Weaver, who was a 69 at 19. So not a bad pick for either of us. It really does depend on potential. It really does, because with potential, Weaver could end up being as good as Lambert is now by the time he's 21. So that's the big question, is what potentials. I don't think we can say for either one of us that immediately, oh, one of us screwed up the drafts. It depends on the potentials. That's all it depends on, would be the potentials. With that, upcoming free agents. No, how do I look at those on my team that don't have contracts? I don't know when the hell are you allowed to try to re-sign people? I'm gonna have to trade to get people back, I'm sure. So player options. I'll hold on to Sita, Olich, and Balidas for now. for you guys, hold on to Kramer and Lyles. That's pretty straightforward. So, qualifying offers. Snow, Bledsoe, Mullins, Page, Dixon. For you guys, that's perfect. Definitely send out those qualifying offers. Then the moratorium phase. I am apparently $11 million in the hole. You guys are apparently $32 million in the hole. I don't know how. As if we've had that much money. But we will advance. Again, we'll make sure everyone ends up on our team. Bledsoe can go. Honestly, I'm finally letting go of Neil Red. The biggest bust that either of us took. He was a second-round pick, but yeah, Neil Red was tragic. I'm gonna finally let go of Neil. We're gonna have to turn off the cap again. That's what it looks like. I'll hold on to Gooden, Dixon, Bledsoe, Baxter, Kenny Snow. Hold on to Kevin Thomas. Everybody there. Then we'll hit back really quickly. We'll switch over to the Breeze. Excuse me. Oh, man. I mean, we can turn off the cap if we need to. For now, we might be okay. Thank you, Warren. All right, and then for you guys, get rid of Daniel, hold on to Banks, Lou, hold on to everybody there. Cool beans. So Herb is looking like he's going to reject his offer, which is fine. I'm going to get him back. It's the same thing as if you guys. Herb is projected to get an offer from the Rockets. Well, yeah, I'm going to match the deal. Pretty sure I'm going to match the deal. Pretty sure. And for me, yeah, match the deal for Herb, obviously. Good in the cap hold. Get rid of those two. Make sure everything is good for both of us. Do not renounce the right of Charlie Haynes or Trent Griffin. And match the deal for Dixon. Just trying to make sure everything is good. Alright, yeah, I gotta make sure I'm on your page here to do that. Alright, so free agency. Not the biggest class in the world. So there's really nothing to do but just sim ahead the player progression. No, that's not true. Alright, so again, cap hold for you guys, and then for me, hopefully it didn't just do anything shitty. Cap hold on everybody there. Cool. So yeah, again, we'll see what happens. Again, we'll make sure that all the key players on our teams are good to go, and actually on our teams. So player progression, Herb is showing up as a 90. Page up by 1. O'Brien starting to decline. Olich got better. Balitas got better. Snow got better. Steele got much better. Yeah, someone like Sita. Or not Sita, but someone like Gooden isn't showing up on my team anymore. I accidentally skipped player progression for you guys. My bad. I fucking tried to switch over. We'll still be able to see the teams in a moment. Let's be honest, player progression's not that important. It cares about the potential. So, we will get your teams set. Let's make sure everyone's where they should be. So a point guard. It's Campbell, Humphrey, and Westbrook. We need to find Wenli Liu. And then again, you guys will have the choice of maybe moving on from certain people. But Lulu you're going to have to trade for, and Wenli Liu you're going to have to trade for. Wenli ended up on the Knicks. So Russell Clark is not yours. Get that deal done. Again, back to Player Finder. You got Wenli back on the team. And Lulu's already on the team. Cool. So Wenli is back. So again, Campbell, Humphreys, Westbrook, and Wenli. Shooting guard. We need to get Charlie Haynes back. Fandango, thank you. Solid copy pasta, dog. Alright, we need to get Charlie Haynes. Oh boy, nice little glitch there. Let's get Charlie Haynes back on your team. Where did he go? Portland? Ended up as a free agent. Sign him up. Wow, nobody signed Charlie Haynes. That's kind of sad. He's a good player for you guys. So Haynes and Lulu. And you have Kramer, Todor, Bradley, Wesley, and Lambert. Stomach virus for Lothar. Power forward, Lekic. You're missing Griffin and Banks. Let's find those two really quickly. We might be at the point where you guys have to drop somebody off of your team as well. We'll keep that in mind. Trent Griffin, indeed, full roster. Okay. So, we will release you there. Honestly, it'll probably be Griffin or Banks that gets cut. All right, so we got a choice to make here, chat. Because judging by the rest of your team, right, at point guard, you have Campbell, who's 27 and a B+. Humphreys is a solid B. Humphreys is ready to be on this roster. And then Westbrook that you just drafted, he's only a B potential. We'll see if he ends up maybe being as good as the draft would have led you to believe. In terms of Hall of Fame Steve Nash comp. And then Wenli Liu. Again, Wenli can be moved around to shooting guard or small forward. At shooting guard, it's Haynes and then Lulu, who again, questionable at this point. At forward, I mean, Lothar, Todor, Travis Bradley, but he's such a good secondary scorer for you guys. Then you got Brooke Wesley, who is an A potential, and a B potential in Quinn Lambert. And then, of course, you got Lekic at power forward, Keefe and Lyles. You really do need to drop. You do need to drop either a guard or a forward, if not two of them. You need to sign at least Banks or Griffin back. But now is the time. So chat, what do you think? It's your team. I mean, it probably does make the most sense to get rid of Wenli Liu. Hate to say it. He was one of your first picks. But he's the lowest rated guard. I'm sure he would tie Lulu in terms of rating. Obviously, you want to hold on to these two young guys. What do you guys think, man? I'd move on from Wenli Liu after all this time. Second round pick back in 2022. But you see his progression. He might even be on a slight decline. He just never took off. He never took off. Career high of 30 points in a game. Anybody objecting? Anybody objecting? Wenli Liu, you served this team well. But at this stage, I mean, 10 point per game average. Wenli Liu is officially departing Honolulu. Now, if you want 4 big men, you have to cut somebody else. Which, I mean, the shouts at that point would probably be Lulu, which is a risk, or, like Sox is mentioning, Travis Bradley. Which, because Kramer can also play power forward. So my suggestion, you sign the best player between Griffin and Banks. And then you send guys down to the G League. So honestly, I think, again, if this is my team, let's see how good Griffin is. It's not a matter of sending guys down to the G League yet, guys. It's a matter of you have too many players that you technically have the rights to and not enough roster spots. You have to cut people. That's where we're at. Griffin is a 74 at 26. Whereas Jonathan Banks, one of these two you're pretty much going to have to let go of. Whereas Jonathan Banks is a 75 at 27. Griffin or Banks? Who stays? You can pretty much keep one. And then you cut ties with the other. Again, Banks, 4 badges. Pretty good defensively. 75 at 27. And Griffin. Oh, can't do that. Griffin is 26 and a 74. Pretty much defense first. I mean, both of these guys will be depth. They're not a big player for you. Same people saying, say goodbye to Banks. So do we want to confirm that? Keep Trent Griffin, move on from Banks. Going once. Going twice. And sold. So Trent Griffin will be re-signed as a depth player for the season. And again, Jonathan Banks joins Wenli Liu as the first guys that you have casted away. He was also a second-round pick 6 years ago in 2023. Best season was where he averaged 12 points a game. I mean, you can just tell his role has absolutely diminished over the past few years after the additions of Lekic and Keefe and Lyles. So, Jonathan Banks, officially a free agent. So from there, in terms of setting up your team, I mean, obviously you have certain choices about who goes to the G League. You got Humphreys, who you could put, you could maybe put even like Tommy Campbell into a starting shooting guard role, or Humphreys, or leave Humphreys as your sixth man, so that Westbrook goes down to the G League. Lulu, I mean, he's a B- at 23, so guess both of those guys could go to the G League if you wanted. But then there's also Brooke Wesley, who is now a 78 and really should be a more important player for you guys, and Quinn Lambert, who's a B. So pretty much your options for the G League, I would say, would be Lambert at a B, Humphreys, and Westbrook. If it's up to me, I put Westbrook and Lambert in the G League this year. Oh yeah, Wesley has a potential. I mentioned that before. All three, you can only put two, I do believe. If you can put all three, then sure, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's only been letting us put two. That might have been a roster size thing before. So, top priority. Probably, again, I'd go Westbrook and Lambert. I think you guys let them take their time, because they're definitely not going to play this year. And we can go a little bit more hands-on to see where Brooke Wesley ends up playing for you. But, alright, I'm not seeing any disagreements to Lambert. He'll go down to the G League. You won't be happy about it. Any disagreements to Jermaine Westbrook? I mean, at best, he's your fourth best guard this season. He's 22. Tear the G League apart and bring him back next year. And then he'll probably just outright replace Lulu on the roster. Alright, Westbrook's unable to go. So you need to sign somebody. Actually, because we sent him down, you guys actually might be able to bring back Jonathan Banks. Let me see here. I didn't realize if you drop someone to the G League, it just says, hey, you have a spot open. Let's see here. This was a mistake. Can you sign Jonathan Banks now? Now I have the cap room. Hold on. As per usual, we will bend this to our will. See what your team ends up being. You now sign Jonathan Banks. Can. So then if we go back to point guard, this might mean that Wenli Liu is back as well. Drop Westbrook down to the G League. Let's go back and sign Wenli. I guess certain players are staying. Sign Wenli. Okay, so now the roster's full. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. So basically, I mean, you have the choice of bringing back Jonathan Banks or Wenli Liu. Dude, I'm happy your internet has returned to normal. So, I mean, if you bring back Wenli, you'd have 5 guards. You keep Banks, you have 5 big men. Most of your players are better suited to go play guard instead of playing power forward. Lothar is the only real one to play power forward. I'd recommend keeping Jonathan Banks, personally. point where I'm confident enough to add him back to the list. Neither guy is getting minutes. It's true. So from here, it's a matter of who plays where. And we will get this set up. Stop recording on the YouTube side because it'll just be a pain in the ass. But at least you guys know generally the players that are going to be on the roster. So.
Oh!